to live stream the meeting. Okay, it's preparing, it says. Yeah.
Olivia, Monday, July 13, 8:21 p.m.
Affirmative. And we are live, I think. Brilliant. So, first of all, good afternoon from Austria, and good afternoon from Switzerland. My name is Gernot Groemer. I'm the director of the Austrian Space Forum. I would like to warmly welcome to a live stream between two very unusual groups of individuals. We're gonna find out who it is in more particular. I'm here in the suit lab of the Austrian Space Forum in Innsbruck in Austria. And we have connection that goes over just a few hundred kilometers, I believe, into the west to our colleagues and friends at the Asclepios mission, which is a student-led mission in the St. Gotthard tunnel in Switzerland. And we have the crew with us that are actually in sim, which is a very unusual setting to have a live stream into a simulation. But the good thing is they are on the moon, which means we have almost no time delay. And so we're allowed to talk with them better than being on Mars, I would say. So first of all, I would like to introduce our side, and then I'll hand over to the Swiss side. So behind me is the class of Analog Astronauts of the class of 26 of the Austrian Space Forum. I'm just gonna, yeah, there we go. And I would very briefly like to have the Analog Astronauts in training introduce themselves so we know who is in the auditorium from our side. And then we'll finish with our flight director, Guillaume, to conclude the group. And then we'll hand over to the Swiss side so that they can talk about who they are and what their mission is about. So let's give it a start. Anna, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hi, everyone.
With someone also very special in the Austrian Space Forum, Guillaume Thirion.
Hi, Guillaume, French, just flight director from the Austrian Space Forum.
And we are here in the fourth training block of the basic training for the new class of analog astronauts, meaning that in about 2 weeks, they will be graduating from the basic training, and then 3 of them will be selected for the next mission. The other one's going to backup for a Mars analog mission in April next year in Monserrate in Portugal. So that's enough on our side. And also in the background, which you see hiding between Nathan and Ludovica, is the 2 spacesuit simulators that they've been also been training with. The next session is planned for Sunday for the next EDA training. And with that said, I would love to hand over to our Swiss colleagues and would like to ask you to introduce yourself and what we are seeing here.
Thank you, Gernot, for the introduction. So we'll begin with the MCC of Asclepios, but before we do that, so Asclepios is a student organization based in Switzerland, and we're currently undergoing our 2-week simulation and we're currently the Mission Control Center. So if we go around and introduce ourselves, my name is Joseph within the organization. I'm one of the mission directors alongside Amber and Matthew, and we lead the organization. And currently within the Mission Control Center, my role is flight director, leading the MCC during the shift.
Yeah, my name is Joachim Harding. I am Capcom on this shift and also trained for flight director. My role in Asclepios has been as head of mission assurance. So I have been in charge of trying to organize the architecture of the mission and defining requirements and writing SOPs and so on, all the practical aspects, so to speak. Yeah.
My name is Shirin Makirala. In this shift, my role is BME, and also within the Asclepios, I work in the medical team as a biomedical engineer and researcher. And I contribute to the medical research and SOPs in the organization.
My name is Takwa. I'm in the shift procedures and EVA, and my role in Asclepios is MCC training officer.
My name is Elisa. My role in this shift is to be science, so help the science liaisons between the astronauts and the PIs. And my role in Asclepios is one of the science officers, so helping organize the research projects that are taking place in Asclepios.
And now we'll hand over to our analog astronauts in the base.
You're
Okay.
you didn't unmute, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, hello. Can you hear us?
We're you 5x5.
Sweet. We hear you 5x5. Welcome to the Sasso San Gottardo base. We are currently on day 6 of our mission, our 2-week mission. I'm joined here by 8 of my crew members from all around the world, and we're just going to briefly introduce myself. So I'm Jack. I come from Australia. I'm a part of Expedition 1, and I am a mission specialist.
Hi everybody, so good to see you and hear you and see your faces. So I'm Madeleine Montperis, and I'm a pseudo-French and mission specialist for Expedition 1 as well.
Hi everyone, I'm Pablo Ibarra from Mexico, and I'm commander of Expedition 1.
My name is Renaud Delis. I am from Switzerland and the United States, and I am mission specialist for Expedition 2.
Hi there. My name is Ioana Dimitrova. I'm commander of Expedition 2, and I'm from Belgium, Bulgaria, and the US.
Hello, my name is Marvin Jurek. I'm from Switzerland, and I'm a mission specialist for Expedition 2.
Hello, everyone. I'm very excited for this. My name is Mala Welch. I am one of the crew medical officers as part of Expedition 2, and I am from Germany.
Howdy, folks. My name is Andrew Lesh from the United States. I'm here for Expedition 1, and I'm a crew medical officer.
Hi there, I'm Pritha Jaipal. I'm from India, and I'm mission specialist for Expedition 1.
Sounds like a very diverse group, both from the technical competence level as well as from nationality. So we see so many flags in the background. It's really amazing to see how colorful those missions can be. And that's just lovely to see. And I was specifically asked from our meet team as well to give a special shout out to Marla Welsh because she also has an affiliation with the Austrian Space Forum. And so we have actually a kind of a cross crew exchange a little bit because Nathan, on the other hand, has also a special connection. Nathan, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was in their position last year. Good to see you guys have decorated with all the flags. It certainly livens up the place.
So we have been asking the public for questions, and we got quite a bunch of questions in the preparation for this. So before I come to these questions, I first wanted to give a little bit of a context or ask the analog astronauts about their perspective on the training, what they've been doing so far, because they've been applying for this position since late last year, and they've been undergoing a very rigid selection process just like you guys, where I also understand that you have many candidates, and this is basically a part of the selectees. On your side, the same here as well. And I don't know if maybe Nathan, you wanna? I think you got the best overview of both selection processes. So
Yeah.
can you give a heads about the selection process? What are the things that Asclepios is looking into, the things the Austrian Space Forum is looking into, parallels, differences? So what's your take? Because you've been going through both.
Yeah, absolutely. Having been through both, I think the selection process, the parallels is certainly the physical aspect. Obviously, I won't give too much away about both selection processes, but there's a lot of being pushed to your physical limits. Something I think the OeWF do more is a lot more psychological assessment. I don't know, obviously you guys will know there's a lot more interviews with psychologists and team dynamics, so a lot of interesting stuff going on there. Yeah, they definitely challenge different things, different parts of your psyche. Yeah, I would say the Asclepios one was a lot more arithmetic based. There was a lot more tests on your practical, on your mental math skills, this kind of thing. So yeah, there were pros to both sides.
Maybe I can throw a similar question to the other side in the subsurface mission. Marla, if I may ask, one of the questions we actually got was, as a student, would you recommend first being part of the Asclepios mission and then OeWF, or the other way around? I know it's a hard take, and we can, yeah.
I think that's a very interesting question. So I definitely don't regret that I've joined both the Austrian Space Forum and Asclepios in the past years. But I think Asclepios, what's special about it is that very unique because it's one of the only chances you have as a student to get into the astronaut business kind of and get into the feeling of how it is to train and live like an astronaut. I feel that Austrian Space Forum is something you may be pursuing later in life because it takes up more time. Even you're part of an astronaut pool and you have several missions, and I think you need much more life experience also for this. And I'm very happy that I've chosen to do it this way and that I'm now part of Asclepios. And I'm excited for what's to come, maybe with the Austrian Space Forum even.
So it's the old answer, when given a choice, take both, right? Which the two of you did, obviously, yeah. Which is quite amazing. If I may throw a question at the Mission Control Center of Asclepios. I mean, you guys are around 24/7, I understand, which means you're taking shifts. There's not a single moment when the crew is left unsupervised, which is a good thing, I guess. Okay, no very well. Can you elaborate a little bit about the experiments you're doing, the work at the MCC, what the priorities are, what you're looking into, and basically what is not just the purpose, but more of like what is the focus in your particular mission that you are trying to observe as a Mission Control Center role?
Yeah, so to answer that question, I think it's the importance of why the Mission Control Center even exists. And to address this fundamental question, I think why the Mission Control Center exists is to support the astronauts conduct science experiments and also take care of their well-being physically and psychologically throughout the mission. And we're doing a lot of cool science experiments this year, 21 science experiments, ranging everything from biology, chemistry, physics, so from numerous natural sciences, and also other non-STEM fields. And we're trying to help. The Mission Control Center's role is to support and help this and make sure the mission is conducted successfully and also be there for the astronauts whenever they need us, as we are their point of contact to Earth from the moon. Do you have anything else to add?
I think that sums it up pretty well.
Yeah, maybe it's a question for Joachim as well, because you also have experience of I also have little experience.
Sorry, can't hear you, Gernot.
Okay, com check 1, 2, 3. Can you read me?
Yeah, now I can read you.
So you've been also being through the little bit of an OeWF experience as well. Now you guys are all almost a week into the mission, and I know from our experiences, on every day unexpected things happen, and there's always a little doubt of what you planned and what actually happened or so. Can you elaborate on some experiences you had already that were unexpected, things that made like say, wow, we didn't expect that, or here is an anecdote you want to share, that juicy gossip, or anything where you say, okay, this is something I would tell our friends at a dinner time after the mission, saying, well, it was not all going to according to an Excel sheet we were following, but really it was humans in the place. There were surprises. Science always offers surprises in the way we work. So can you remember any memorable moments already, although you're not even half through the mission now at this point?
Yeah, so you can always, in the MCC, we always try to plan every single step of the way through the day, through the time plan or the flight plan. But there's always something that arises. Maybe it's something due to some of the science experiments. Like we have a lot of science experiments, and not they don't always work as intended. So sometimes we have anomalies that we have to solve, and we do a lot of troubleshooting, which means that sometimes we get delayed in the flight plan. So we have to adjust all the time to these events. having been an astronaut last year for the last year's Asclepios mission, I also experienced a lot of this myself when I was in the base. So it's really important to have that communication between the base and the MCC to make sure that we always adjust to any anomalies or like contingencies that might arise in the base, and we need to we have a specific way to prioritize as well from the MCC side of things. So obviously the crew health is always the #1 priority, and then second is the mission itself, and then third is the experiment data that we collect. But yeah, already so far this mission, we've had plenty of surprises along the way.
Like what? Like what?
What happened in the rocket room?
Sorry, what did you say, Nathan?
What happened in the rocket room?
The rocket room. This this is a funny story. I'm going to tell it from my side first, and then maybe the astronauts can give their view on the story as well. So this year we have a capsule where the astronauts stay in the capsule before going into the base. And this year it's been away from the main base. So the astronauts need to do an EVA to go from the capsule to the base on the moon. And of course, during that time, the astronauts will need to go to the toilet and that kind of stuff. So we had like a camping toilet to simulate like this is how they need to go on the toilet on the way to the moon. And there was a problem with following the SOP. So unfortunately, a bag was not put in the toilet before one of the astronauts decided to use the toilet. And from my understanding, there was, it was not the nicest place to be in after that. But maybe the astronauts can elaborate a bit.
Do the astronauts want to elaborate on the details?
It wasn't absolutely terrible. So we do have to think on the fly. So we did have to add a lot of absorbent powder to the bottom of the toilet. But these things kind of happen when you don't follow procedure. So yeah.
Maybe you should talk to a dietologist about the diet before. Okay, all right. Let's stop with the toilet stories. I know they're always a fun part, and this is a never-ending running gag in human spaceflight for sure. Absolutely. We have here a very experienced flight director, Guillaume. I'll switch a little bit to the side as well. So now when we're talking from flight director to flight director, Guillaume has been with us for many years, many missions now. Is there any an advice or something you would like to share from flight director to flight director in terms of here's something that is something only flight directors can appreciate or can relate to, or so, whether it's something you can share with him?
Oh, definitely. Well, you are super well trained, and I guess for you flight directors, it's a bit like us flight directors as well. Well, we have such great flight controllers or flight planners at the Mission Support Center, or in your case, Mission Control Center, that we have more the feeling of being like mission conductors, like when all the musicians are playing in an orchestra than anything else. So it's things are going like smoothly, and it's always great to see that like everybody is really skilled and competent after the tough training we do beforehand. So I hope you also have the same feeling as I do usually during the mission, just enjoying being here and being amazed by the flight controllers and the flight planners and all the different solutions.
The flight controllers have the analog astronauts at the extended arms and ears of their missions for actually executing missions, and so they need a lot of training. So coming back to training of this class of 26 here, if they grade it, the first have to take the final exam. So let's not go too early here. Fingers crossed here. So, Ludovica, can I ask you maybe about the moments which were most surprising to you? I mean, obviously you would expect physical training, you would expect technical training, you would expect mental training or so. We go outdoors in a couple of hours now for our hell weekend, so to say. But was there something that was particularly surprising you? Is that this is something you did not expect in the basic training here?
Yeah, I think the variety of it, I know that it was gonna be various training, but I didn't expect such broad range. For example, we went from meteorological classes to medical classes, drawing blood from each other and
Real blood? No, there was not fake blood, yes.
We're struggling to hear you again on your end.
We still can't hear, unfortunately.
Single distance.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. Still a bit low, but it seems like the audio is cutting out sometimes. Sorry.
Technical side.
Gernot, they can hear you, but anyone that is in the back is hard to hear.
Copy that. We're gonna switch the microphone to a local one. Let's still try this one here, maybe. Okay, and let's put this back here as well. Okay, let's give it a try. Okay, how are we doing now? Is it better in any way?
Much better, thank you.
Much better. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, what I'm looking forward to is the Auda suit donning on Sunday. For me and Renana, it's gonna be the first time to be in the suit. So I'm really looking forward to that session.
She's got a very low bar to beat, actually. Also, some juicy gossip from our side, not with toilets, but the first donning. As you can imagine, their spacesuits take some time to put them on, and usually we account for typically 3 hours for the donning for this spacesuit. I don't know if I'm allowed to share the number of the first donning, how long it took.
Oh, yeah.
Shall we? Okay, all right. So who's brave enough to spill it out? 6.5 hours for the first donning. And which means you're already exhausted and you have done nothing yet. So who was in the suit at that time?
That was
Okay, all right. But they were troopers, I have to say. And I hope you're not taking 6.5 hours for your donning in your suits. Yeah, so that's something from our side.
No.
We're absolutely. Maybe one question to skip as well, because one question that popped up several times from the audience previously, and that was, when is the next Asclepios mission, and are you currently looking for analog astronauts?
Yeah, so we've completed our we're in the finalizing stages of the Asclepios 8, Asclepios 7, Asclepios 7 analog astronauts. So for students out there that haven't applied yet, that are still students next year, they can apply for the Asclepios 8 analog mission to become analog astronauts in January of 2027. However, if you like to be involved in Asclepios not as an analog astronaut, but as an officer instead, which we all currently are in the Mission Control Center, our recruitment cycle will open in September this year. And there will be officers available all across the board, including our science team, medical team, but also our non-STEM subjects, which include finance team and legal team. So there's a role for everybody. If you're a student and you're interested in space and also human space flight exploration as well. So we encourage every student out there to apply.
Additionally, I just want to add that just because you want to become an analog astronaut doesn't mean that you can't also become an officer and then later apply to become an analog astronaut in January. So doing the double role actually as an officer first and then going to become or applying to become an analog astronaut is actually a really good way to get to know the organization first and get to know the people. And that will actually give you better chances as well of doing good in doing well in the selection process.
And you get to see the side of the Mission Control Center as well as then becoming an analog astronaut, which I think helps when you do become an analog astronaut, seeing what it's like to be from the Mission Control Center side.
Yep. Absolutely, yes. We're running out of time, which means we have to slowly come to the conclusion of this. However, there's one thing I wanted to offer here, because we have an ongoing mission crew, we have a future mission crew here, both in their beautiful uniforms. I'm wondering if we want to exchange any wishes or anything like words of encouragement for each other. something to say, well, this is a message you would like to offer for the other side in the ground segment in our case, or the lunar segment on their case or so. So I don't know who would like to come up with, and we can do several ping pongs if we have several ideas what to say to each other, and yeah, and have some words of encouragement in a way, because you guys still have a couple of days to go more, and there's still some more challenges, I'm sure, ahead of you. So I don't know if there's anything from the Asclepios side or our side here. Just raise your hand so I can see if there's somebody coming up with an idea. Renata, it's first. Okay, so yeah, please. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Hi everyone. So I've never been on an analog mission yet, but I have done some other adventures in my life, and I think I can give you an advice from there that might be also applicable for you. So it doesn't matter if things get really hard and really, really, dark, just as long as you stay healthy and safe, at the end, it's going to be a brilliant story. So at the hard moments, just think about it, that you're like collecting really experiences that will make you a really stronger person later. So that's like I hope you won't have any of these moments, but if you do have, just keep in mind that it will build you really stronger for later. Yeah.
Thank you. Wow. So, anything from the Asclepios side? Anything you would like to share, or this can be a personal thing?
Yes, so as you probably know, analog missions are quite challenging, and we hope certainly for you that you also encounter many challenges in your mission, many challenges worth solving, because I think these challenges, they're an important part of the analog mission, and they really add to something to the simulation. We hope that you have many interesting science experiments, and through all these challenges and tasks that you do, we hope that, or we want to tell to you that the most important thing is to keep the spirits up, to always stay together as a crew, and to work together through these challenges and through these tasks that you encounter during your mission.
Thank you very much. This great words, and very much appreciated.
I also have a thing to add. Having been part of the Austrian Space Forum selection process as well, I obviously know all of the astronauts that you have selected this year, and I want to congratulate all of you personally on being selected, and to you, Gernot, also for selecting a very, very good crew, and I wish you all the best for your future missions as well.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. So for our listeners, in case you are not familiar with the topic of analog research, there's plenty of websites out there, plenty of organizations that are doing this on literally all continents, I think even including Antarctica now, where analog missions are happening. And it's an amazing world of research. It is about finding things that might go wrong on the moon and on Mars. So we don't want to find out about problems when we're there, but before they happen. And that's the reason why we do this type of research. Just recently heard a really, really amazing, simple quote, but that is, when you think about all the trust you have to build into the humans that are operating machines, complex workflows, mastering the unknown or so. We don't want to launch trust into orbit. We want to build trust on Earth here. And that's the very reason why we do analog research in general. And with that said, I would say onto the moon, onto Mars, and thanks for watching this live stream, and Godspeed to the crew that is entering now its second week. Thank you very much, and have a great day, have a great week, have a great mission.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.